I don't want to point any triggers at Worm Coil Engine. Why would I do that? It is time! We're here for the last match. Can you believe it? We managed to turn our unfortunate circumstance around into a 2-2. So if we go 3-2, we get all of our league value back, plus a little bit extra. And if we go 2-3, we at least get half of our league value back. And that's good because it allows me to continue to produce content for you guys without any kind of cost. And my goal here is to entertain or inform you, and if you do find yourself enjoying this video or learning something useful from it, then like and comment and subscribe, but only once you've reached the end of this video, because how else could you know? Like I said, we are 2-2 here with this list. Let's see if we can manage to convert this into the 3-2 after the 0-2 start, and I'm excited to jump straight into it, so I'll see you guys for the games. Man, I feel like these queue times have been getting longer and longer. Oh, just as I'm saying that, of course, we get the match. I should say stuff like that more frequently. On the draw again, playing against M-Chalk with a Q. Again, don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably playing a turn 2 Explorer on this hand if we do keep, rather than turn 1 Scout, as we need to hit this green source off the top. Which we do have plenty of. In fact, this Vestige is serving as a turn 1 green source as we drew it up, but I think we actually would prefer to explore on 2 here. That said, I feel like we have enough. We have a Dryad, we have a Valakut naturally to go with the Dryad, we have a Titan, we have some redraws, plus we're on the draw, so we get a draw off the top. It's a little slow, but I'm gonna try it out. What can I say? I'm a sucker for Explorer. Always have been. Turn 1 Ancient Stirrings, an old border. Could this possibly... What? Turn 1 Stirrings into Tronland? This is not a good keep from Tron. Unfortunately, we probably can't punish them for it, because our hand is just super slow, but just mulligan until you have Tron. They kept, what, 6 or 7? They kept 7 and played turn 1 Forest. That is just incorrect. And we are rewarded here by being able to cast a Tribe Scout this upcoming turn. Not upcoming turn, this after this resolves if we want to. And now that we do have a bounce land, we probably do want to just play Scout out here. So I'm going to play Cavern, naming Scout, of course. Get that one in play. This upcoming turn, we can float a bunch of mana, Scout in a Growth Chamber, pick up the Vestige, replay Vestige to get the green to play a Dryad. So, probably fine. In fact, we probably pick up and reset the Cavernous Holes to do that, so we can cast more Dryads if we top deck them. The Dryad will fix our mana for Titan, so things are looking alright. We'd be in trouble if our opponent had a Tron land on turn 1. And now we are in trouble because our opponent has Tron on turn 4 here, but still a very strange keep from our opponent. Let's Scout in the bounce land as intended. Pick up the Cavern, I do believe. Put this one on Dryad. We'll go ahead and play Dryad. And see where we can go from here. I think we just go ahead and put a Growth Chamber in play. Pick up Crumbling Vestige, I suppose. Untapped sources are pretty nice to have access to. If we top deck an untapped source, like I was just mentioning, actually, then we'll be able to cast Titan this upcoming turn, despite our opponent Karn minusing on one of our bounce lands. So, Garen Rig or untapped source off the top is good. Hopefully our opponent doesn't Ugin minus our board. Even if they do that, we can still put a Titan into play, though, and they wouldn't be able to deal with it, quite possibly. So, some complicated things going on here. We do have access to Ghost Quarter in the main board here, so we can interact with our opponent's Tron. Did they get... They got Tower? What? And I guess they already have Mine in hand. I don't know how. Did they scrying for it? I don't know. I don't know what I missed. They already had Power Play in hand. And here's the Ugin. Alright, so if they minus here, then we can still cast Titan. So it's not the worst. They do -3, alright. I suppose we could even pack for Dryad. Well, actually, Amulet lets us haste and attack with our Titan, so that's clearly going to be the play. Float a white here and play our Amulet. We'll cast our Summoners Pact to get Titan. We'll haste it and then get Valakut. Not Valakut, what am I saying? Ghost Quarter and something else. Here's the Stronghold thing. Things are looking pretty good for us now. They have a redundant tower, I do believe. I think that's what they showed us. So we are not going to hit the tower. I think we hit the power plant as they search for the mine. Actually, no. I guess that means we hit the mine. Whatever. Bounce land in hand is probably a good idea. I'm just going to pick up the garrison. Kill the Ugin. Kill a Tron land. Life is good. Here's the Ghost Quarter. Set a draw step stop for our opponent here so we can hit a land after they have potentially drawn a basic land they otherwise would not have. That is the plan. Right. Draw step will hit the mine. If they have another mine here and a way to deal with Titan, then we might be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll deal with it. So we're definitely ahead here. If our opponent catches back up, don't know what we would do. I guess they could Stirrings to find the missing Tron land here if they happen to find it in the top 5 cards. See if our opponent gets there. It is technically possible. Seems like we have hit the correct Tron land, though. Thanks to our Cavern naming Dryad, we can actually just pack for a Dryad and potentially kill our opponent with Valakut triggers and attacking Primeval Titan this upcoming turn, so that's looking pretty good. Pay for pack with the Growth Chambers, use these 3 mana to cast Dryad. Our opponent concedes. Alright. Cool enough for me. We want the Sage. We want these Forces. Maybe Tracker, maybe. I'm going to bring in 1 just because I like Tracker, but it's probably not the best. I guess Grazer giving us a turn 2 3-drop is actually pretty excellent in this matchup. It's dead top deck, but I mean, to be honest, we're not trying to top deck. We're just trying to kill our opponent. I guess they could bring in Thought-Knot Seers and make the Grazers look a little sillier, but that's alright with me. We'll take out this Bog. Take out this Fountain. I think Cavern's fine because the casts are 1-drop on turn 1. We'll trim Summoner's Pact. Get all these Explorers out of here, actually. Should have been the first thing I did, so kind of missed that one. I guess I'd rather have a Pact. And I guess we can bring in the Tracker if we want it. I don't know. I'm not convinced that a Tracker is better than just having an Explorer here, though. I don't think that it is. Alright, we'll submit with the 1 of Explorer. 1 of Fun of. Snap keeping any hand with Explorer. That's a joke. Don't take it seriously. If there's a 1 of Explorer in our hand here, that doesn't mean I'll just snap keep it. Although, to be honest, I am very likely to keep hands with Explorer just because I like the card, but anyways. This hand's a bit slow. This is a turn 4 Titan on the draw. Last time we lost Tron is because we kept a turn 4 Titan hand, and that was on the play, so no thank you. And again, we have a turn 4 Titan. We have Titan mana, but this is just not going to cut it, especially on the draw. So I'm going to mulligan. Hopefully we find a hand with Amulet and Bounce Land. Even if we didn't have a regular land, I'd probably keep a hand with Amulet and Bounce Land on 5, in all honesty. Like, if we just had, like, Bounce Land, other things, then alright. Well, don't think we can afford to mulligan more than what we have, so we'll keep this and bottom a pack. And I guess just the Sage. Like, lands are kind of the plan here, so... Well, at least we have a potential turn 4 Titan. Probably turn 5, but potential turn 4 Titan with Dryad triggering things here. We'll play out the Heath and fetch to slightly thin our deck, just so that we can potentially top deck non-lands. Although, now I'm thinking about it, I don't know if we want to top deck non-lands at this point, but... yeah, didn't really think that one through. Our opponent scries for a tower after having played a forest. Force of Vigor to hit this map. Too bad we can't do that right now. I don't know what we would pitch, though. But probably not the play. Playing the Growth Chamber just makes us exposed to Ghost Quarter, so don't really want to do that. I'd like to be casting Dryad this upcoming turn, so play out the Stronghold, I guess, and pass it back. Ironically, Explorer would have been actually pretty good for this hand. And there's the tower that our opponent searched for. I'm going to leave it there just so we know which one our opponent searched for, though. It may not be relevant, but our opponent has Tron this upcoming turn, and we haven't even cast anything yet. So, like I was saying before, the turn 3 3-drop into turn 4 Titan, not looking to be the tech here. Not really the plan. Rex Sage to hit our opponent's map. I guess we could have forced on their instep. I don't think that would have accomplished anything, though. Yeah, I guess we're just slamming Dryad and, taking it from there. Do we even expose the bounce land? Like, our opponent is extremely likely to Karn minus on our land and then just put us back to the Stone Age. I guess our best out is to just top deck Amulet here. I guess if they don't have Karn, if they choose to play an Ugin or something instead, then not playing the bounce land here is a punt, as we could top deck an untapped land and have Titan ready to go. Assuming we keep our Dryad in play. Which, if they don't have Karn, is probably not a very likely assumption. I'm going to hold it and hope we top deck Amulet. I think that's probably our best route. Nature's Claim, you got it. Well, that makes me feel a little silly for not having played the Growth Chamber, but that's alright. Like I said, our Dryad wasn't likely to survive here anyway, so they find the power plant. They search for both of these. There's the Karn. That's cool, that's cool. Probably dead. Now they don't have a good choice to minus Karn on, so we could still top deck Amulet and Summoner's Pact or Azusa to potentially get there. Probably just losing this game, though, and if we don't top deck something very soon, then we'll probably just scoop it up. Another bounce land, huh? Well, I mean, we got to start playing these out, so... Growth Chamber, go. I probably would not have played out a bounce land if we didn't draw a second one, by the way. Our opponent could just -3 on this bounce land and we'd still be in a lot of trouble, so... Like, even if they didn't have another card to replace it, it would still be not great for us. I guess they could be lacking other threats here. We still probably can't beat an onboard Karn, but we'll see. Get rid of this Force, I guess. So we can hardcast a Rex Sage if we need to. Absolutely hardcasting Rex Sage this upcoming turn. Thank you very much. Guess our opponent can pop Rex Sage in response if they want to. Pop Rex Sage. Pop O-Stone in response. By the way, I'm going to be playing this one next week for M. Hayashi, another content creator. He suggested playing Oblivion Stone in Amulet's sideboard. And I thought I might give it a shot, so look forward to that one in the future. Here comes the O-Stone. They put a Feint counter. Sure. Alright, let's get this Scout into play. Pass it back. We got a squad. They're coming in hot. The exile our bounce land. Okay. Here's an O-Stone and a cracking of the O-Stone. Could have probably anticipated that considering they put the Fate counter instead of anything else. So there's the Amulet. So, I mean, we got a shot. Oh, we don't really have a shot because we have to exile one of these to the Karn. So I guess we're exiling the Titan. Doesn't feel great. They're drawing with the star. So far, they've managed to find nothing else. Although, I guess the O-Stones were pretty good. At least the second one. The first one was not that great, but, we had a little something to do with that. Minusing on the Stronghold seems interesting. That's all I'm going to say about that. Oh, they have Blast Zone for the Amulet. Alright, well, we've lost. That's fine. Cool. Game 3 on the play here. Hopefully we can keep a turn 3 Titan kind of hand. Explore looking not that bad, but I also still think it's pretty slow. Force of Vigor not looking that great either. Maybe Force is just not correct to be bringing in this matchup. I can see that. We'll bring in an Explore. And I guess Radiant Fountain, so we have turn 1 sources. Or Amulet specifically. Sure. I think the best thing that Force can actually do in this matchup is hit a Expedition map on turn 1, and that's 2 for 1ing yourself to answer a turn 1 play. Doesn't seem that great, if I'm being completely honest. It just doesn't seem that great. Alright, on the play. Well, we get to turn 1 Grazer into turn 2 pack for Azusa, play Azusa land, and have turn 4 Titan after that. If we just top deck a 3-drop, then we are only 1 land away from having turn 3 Titan, so... I mean, it's close. It doesn't have Amulet. Is it close enough? Because if we don't top deck exactly the 3-drop, then this hand is a turn 4 Titan on the play. Which I don't love. Especially without Amulet. This might be kind of crazy, but I actually think that we should mulligan this hand. I'm gonna mulligan. See if it punishes us. Man, I just can't escape the turn 4 Titan hands, can I? If our opponent has Nature's Claim for an Amulet, then mulliganing into Amulet will just make us look stupid, but I don't really think this hand cuts it either, so I'm gonna mulligan again. Alright, well, we have a turn 2 3-drop this time, at least, so definitely keeping. Probably bottoming one of these bounce lands, and I guess the Valakut. Sure. We are 1 land away from Titan mana. We still need to top deck that land and a Titan, but at least we have a clear path, so... Our opponent has turn 1 Star. That's not a map, so we're very happy to see that. We drew the land, so that's also good. Pick up the forest here. Playing out the Sanctuary... Not playing out the Sanctuary, of course, because Growth Chamber lets us transmute Tolari West. If we top deck at this upcoming turn, so we can have Titan on turn 4. There's a Scrying, so they do have Tron set up. Well, there's the Titan. I mean, let's just hope and pray. We'll swing for 2, of course. What do you take me for? See if we can manage to get this Titan into play. If our opponent plays Karn and upticks on us, then we have a chance. If they downtick on a land and we top deck an untapped source, then we have a chance. Bounce land does not do it, sadly. Oh, our opponent is cracking a star here. That's fantastic for us. Now they have Nature's Claim or basically nothing else. The Wormcoil doesn't matter. Okay. So we have a chance. The last Tron land, actually, we can just look what they search for. They search for Power Plant. So that's the one we should hit with the Ghost Quarter that we're inevitably about to get. And we probably want... We could get Valakut in Ghost Quarter and then play Bounce Land, pick up the Ghost Quarter, play the Ghost Quarter, and already have a Valakut in play. We didn't play a land for turn already, so I think that is the line. We could also do Vesuva and Ghost Quarter. I don't know if that does anything, though. I don't think we can actually copy our Ghost Quarter here if we get Vesuva. Unless we give our opponent another turn with Tron. Which might not be that scary, since they didn't have something relevant to play. Although, it would be very scary if they had Second Tower and Ulamog, which we couldn't beat at all. Or if they just top deck a threat, so it's probably not the right line. I'm gonna go with the Ghost Quarter Valakut thing. Play Growth Chamber. Send a Valakut trigger, I guess, at the Wormcoil? Nah, I don't care about Wormcoil. I don't care about Wormcoil. I don't want to point any triggers at Wormcoil Engine. Why would I do that? I was thinking about Wormcoil Engine instead of what I was doing, and then something like that happens. But you know what? That is okay. I find it extremely unlikely that we're going to lose by 3 points of damage here, so... We'll draw step hit the one they searched for, which was this Power Plant. And that was very comedic. That was not intentional at all. That was actually hilarious. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have the replacement Tron land and a threat. They shouldn't, considering they didn't have a relevant threat last turn. They just had a Wormcoil, but you never know. In game 1, our opponent did keep a turn 1 forest hand with Tron, so... Just throwing maximum shade. You know, the worst part is that Valkat trigger might actually matter. Because now, in order to kill our opponent guaranteedly without them gaining life from the Worm Coil and trading with our Titan, we would have to get Valkat and Vesuva copying Valkat. Rather than, like, Valkat and Talari West, for example. But, I don't know, maybe it's no big deal. Our opponent's stopping here. They don't have anything obvious to play, it seems. So, it probably means that we're winning. Tap a Tron land to play map. Okay. Yeah, I think our opponent's just dead then. Unless they're holding up a Nature's Claim and slow rolling us. Do we play around the Nature's Claim? Well, now we definitely do. By packing for a Dryad and putting it into play, so. Pretty easy. Our opponent would have to have Dismember and Nature's Claim, so. Dryad into play. Go to combat attack. Should be all she wrote. I guess we also are in trouble if our opponent double dismembers like Primeval Titan or something like that. Alright. Swing with the Titan. Not with the Dryad, of course. Get Valkat and Vesuva copying Valkat, and we should be clear. Vesuva, Valkat. Copy that one. Save targets upstairs. Lethal on the stack. Think we managed to get there. A little bit of a close one against Tron. We wasted one of our Valka triggers. But, you know. If our opponent has double Dismember or Dismember plus a Nature's Claim, then that's just great for them, I guess. Seems like they don't. Did we convert? Did we manage to salvage the 0-2 into a 3-2? Woo! Now that is some good karma right there. Go to the deck list. So, we did encounter one spot where having the Sun Home would have been immensely relevant, but I felt like we were never really in a spot where we needed an untapped green source to cast our Titan and didn't have it. That's one of the nice things about having so many untapped green sources in a list like this. I actually think it makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure that the Colony Garden being in the sideboard matters that immensely. I think the type of case that we got into against the Eldrazi Tron opponent is kind of more of a corner case, so not worried about it. I do think we could trim one green source, probably the Forest, to play the Sunhome, as I just would feel more comfortable having Sunhome. It makes a lot of sense when you have the possibility of getting double amulets, and cutting a Forest and going down to 13 versus 14 doesn't seem that super relevant. I also would like to have a third Garen Brig, but I don't know what I would cut for it. Maybe the Grazer in the main board? Is that kind of crazy to say? I think the Grazer in the main board isn't super necessary. Just go up to 34 lands here with a third Garen Brig. I do like that, actually. And then we need to cut a card from the sideboard to fit the Grazer in. Probably just a Dismember or an Explosives. Maybe a Force. Yeah, I think I would trim the Force here and make room for the third Grazer on the board. I have to admit, we haven't really played against a lot of matchups where we want Grazer over Scout from the sideboard. Maybe we just haven't been paired against Burn or Prowess very much recently. I think Prowess is the biggest place where Grazer makes an impact. Let me know what you think about this list in the comments below. Speaking of the comments below, if you have an idea for my 100 subscribers video, then let me know what you think I should do. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. This is Redface Menace, signing off.